and welcome to another edition of the Daily Crow. I'm Chris Phillips, the Spurs Up Show, coming to you live. Going to talk about the key matchups for Saturday's game. Gamecocks taking on the Charleston Southern Buccaneers, a noon kick at Williams-Brice Stadium. Going to give the key matchups that are going to go a long way determining this football game. As always, brought to you by our friends at SeatGeek. Download the SeatGeek app, go to SeatGeek.com, use the promo code SPURSUP to get $20 off your first purchase if you need tickets to the game Saturday, Alabama, any of the tickets left in the schedule, any other Gamecock sporting events. Download SeatGeek, go to SeatGeek.com, use the promo code SPURSUP to get your savings there today. All right, like I said, I want to talk about the key matchups, 3 key matchups that I think will go a long way determining this football game. Let's start first on the offensive line because obviously South Carolina looked abysmal on Saturday on the offensive line. I'm going to start with center Donnell Stanley against linebacker J.D. Sosebee. Obviously, Donnell Stanley getting bumped back to the center position after Hank Manos struggled mightily against the North Carolina Tar Heels. He'll be back in a familiar position for him. J.D. Sosebee, the linebacker for Charleston Southern, was actually a guy highlighted in the preseason that's a really, really good player for CSU. 64 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and half a sack a year ago. A guy that really flies all over the field, a guy who's really a leader for this Charleston Southern defense. Obviously, Charleston Southern had a really rough first week. I think they lost 48-13 to Furman. But J.D. Sosebee, a guy certainly. South Carolina had troubles in the run game last week, had troubles in protection mainly last week. Donnell Stanley facing off with him. That's going to be a big one. He really needs to hold up because Will Muschamp talked about in the interior of the offensive line was a big problem area for South Carolina. So Donnell Stanley needing to play well. J.D. Sosebee, a guy to watch out for. My second key matchup, linebacker T.J. Brunson against running back Terrence Wilson. TJ, obviously, senior linebacker, preseason All-SEC guy. I thought he had a very okay game last week. Not a great game, but he's obviously one of the leaders for this South Carolina defense. Terrence Wilson, a guy. I think he's just a sophomore, actually. Ran for 9.9 yards per carry week 1 against Furman. Had 9 carries for 77 yards, I believe. A guy who's a speed back, kind of a scat back type guy, if you will. Like I said, Brunson looked okay in week 1, but a guy that really needs to step up, in my opinion. Just too many missed assignments, too many missed plays, missed tackles from TJ. He's got his work cut out for him. South Carolina was abysmal against the run against North Carolina, so that's going to be a big thing for me. Gamecocks need to stop the run. Terrence Wilson's a guy, obviously, that has a burst, can make you pay if you don't get him at the first level. So TJ Brunson, a guy who needs to play well and win that matchup. My final matchup of the game, my final key matchup of this game is Ryan Hilinski, quarterback Ryan Hilinski against the Butterflies. Listen, his first ever career start. There's going to be a lot of emotion for him, for his family, what he's been through to get here, to get to this point. There's going to be a ton of emotion flying around. Don't do too much. Simplify the game. Take what the defense gives you. I say I'm sure of, but I hope and pray that this staff has got a really good offensive game plan for Ryan Hilinski, but take what the defense gives you. Don't do too much. Get in a rhythm. Don't try to be a hero. And kind of settle in. Obviously, again, there's going to be a lot of adrenaline pumping, a lot of emotions. Ryan's going to have to, account for that and take that all in. So do what you can. Don't do too much. He's still a true freshman. He's still learning the playbook. He's still learning. This is going to be his first time in this game speed. Just do your thing. You have the talent. You've done enough to get here. You deserve this opportunity. Just go out there and do your thing. So that's going to do it for me. Against center Donnell Stanley, against linebacker J.D. Sosebee, linebacker T.J. Brunson against running back Terrence Wilson, and quarterback Ryan Hilinski against the Butterflies, his own Butterflies. So that's going to do it for me for the key matchups. Appreciate you guys tuning in again. New episode of the Spurs Up Show drops tomorrow with former Gamecocks tight end Rod Trafford. Very excited for you guys to hear that conversation. And episode 2 of Behind the Beat drops in a couple of hours once I get it put together. So really excited about that. Very lit vlog. Other than that, appreciate you guys tuning in. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much.